Good morning, folks. Cowboy here. And as I told you on each little episode, I may be doing something a little bit different with my attire. So I would invite you to give me another comment about what I have added to my attire that's going to reveal my secret identity. So today we're going to be making one of my favorite desserts. It's an old-timey lemon pound cake. Now, this pound cake recipe that I use was first originated by my mother-in-law. We always called her Nana. Then she shared it with my mother, and then of course my mother took it and changed a couple little things, but not much. But it's pretty much the same recipe. But it's been handed down through several generations to Nana's mother, and probably even further than that. So here in just a second, I'm going to show you the ingredients to it, and let's get it to baking. So here's the ingredients to the pound cake. First, we've got 3 cups of sugar, 3 sticks of margarine, and a cream cheese. Now I've let those set out for just a few minutes. Those 3 will be mixed together until it's nice and smooth. Once that is nice and smooth, I will then take 6 eggs, but I will do only 2 eggs at a time. It's best to use jumbo eggs if you can find them. I'll put in 2 jumbo eggs and 1 cup of flour. Now you notice I've got the sugar already measured out, but I don't measure the flour because it needs to go in each time, because there's going to be 3 cups of the flour that goes in with each 2 eggs. And I will beat those 5 minutes each session. And then at the end, after everything is added, I will beat it for another 15 minutes. Now what I'm going to do with this pound cake batter is I'm going to actually end up making a blueberry almond crusted skillet pound cake. And you talk about something delicious. It is. Now I'll share you the almond crust or the crumble as we move along. So here we go. We're going to add the sugar. And of course, I'm going to be using a KitchenAid. Now I like to take the margarine or butter, whichever ones it might be. Cut them up into little pieces. So we can go ahead and turn that on and get it to going. And then I already got my cream cheese open. Got a little bit that tried to stick there, but we'll get that off. And we'll let that mix until it's nice and smooth. Alright, you should be able to see that that is nice and creamy. And so now we're going to add our first 2 eggs and a cup of flour. Here's 1 cup of flour. Give them a little mixing up. Then we'll just add those right in. Make sure you start off slow. So now that's going to beat for 5 minutes. I'll first start it on slow, get it incorporated, and then I will speed it up a little. Okay, our first 5 minutes is up. So let's go ahead and add our 2 other eggs. Our cup of flour. Now, I think I may have failed at the beginning to tell you that this has 2 teaspoons of lemon flavoring. There's 1 and 2 and a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually go a little bit over on the vanilla. And now, once again, start off slow. Gonna go for 5 minutes. I also think I mentioned that it was going to be a blueberry almond crusted. Once the batter is all done, I will then take the blueberries and I will coat them with some flour, and then I will just fold them into the batter. Okay, we're done with the second batch of eggs, so let's go to the next one. So we just finished their third 5 minutes. So now we're going to do it for a total of 15 by itself. As you can see, I've already got my blueberries tossed with the little flour so that they don't float to the bottom when we're cooking. So we're just about done with that 15 minutes. My 2 pans, in the original recipe it calls to spray them with a little baker's flour. I like to, the recipe that I'm using to make the blueberry almonds calls that you butter the pans. So I've taken 2 recipes, put them together, and made what I think is the best. So we're getting really close here. Going to fold those blueberries in, pour them up into the pans, and yep, you guessed it, bake them. So we've finished that beating and whipping. So now let's clean it off just a little bit, get all that good batter. Tasted this a few minutes ago. Oh, is it delicious. There we go. I think that's good. Get my hands rinsed a little. So now we're ready to add those blueberries. So I'm not just going to pour them in because I don't want all that excess flour. I am going to get a little bit of that flour, but not much. It'll be okay. Let's sort of sift it through my hands. Yeah, there we go. Got that. Now we're going to take this and we're just going to fold these in. Look how nice and creamy that is. Oh, how beautiful. All right, now we're going to start pouring it into our pans. Let's take our little spatula, get some of that off of the big one. Okay, let's get it all spread out. Alrighty, looks like we're good to go. I hope that you can see that. So we're going to be baking these at 300 degrees. For the normal pound cake, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours. But since these are thinner, I'm going to probably bake them, set my timer for an hour, and check on them. Make sure that they're okay. So my oven is already preheated to 300, so let's put them in and get them going. Look at that. All right, we got it set for 1 hour. We'll come back and show you. So now I'm going to show you what goes into the almond crumble that goes on top of the cake. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a 1/4 cup of almonds, a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of melted butter, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We will take all of that and incorporate it in together, and then that will go on top of the cake once it has cooled. Now on top of that, also there will be a lemon glaze. And of course the glaze is very simple. You just squeeze the lemon, mix it with some confectionery sugar, get it to a nice consistency, and then pour that on top as well after it has cooled. And there is the finished product as it came out of the oven with the crumble on top. I failed to mention that you had to put that crumble on as you baked it, which I did. So now we're just waiting for that to cool, and then I will add the lemon glaze to it. So here's the lemon glaze. Gonna give it a good stir, and then I'm gonna take it and just sort of drizzle it over it. Back and forth. Don't that look tasty? And there we go. Gonna let it continue to cool for a little bit, and then we'll get them plated. And here they are, out of the iron skillets. Don't they look beautiful? Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching me bake those. They're still cooling, haven't tasted them yet, but I know they're going to be delicious. And yes, I'm hungry, and I'll be eating some soon. So, I'll be seeing you on down the trail.